So guys, in today's video, I'm going to be triggering fans of football superstars. If you're not in tears, then you're not a true fan. Enjoy. Lamine Yamal, football's latest teenage sensation, and he's already making headlines for more than just his talent on the pitch, like dapping up King Felipe of Spain. But he's just 17, and in a matter of weeks he'll be 18. You have to wonder how long before his inner unseriousness kicks in, like most other graduates of La Masia once they discovered the nightlife in Barcelona. His numbers this season were outrageous, especially for his age: 19 goals, 22 assists across all competitions. He's running games, defeating Madrid, won a Euros for Spain to end a 12-year drought. Lamine Yamal fans have every reason to panic right now because Barcelona and Spain are working this guy on overtime. He's barely finished school and he's already logging more minutes than everyone on the team. At this rate, they'll burn out the brightest talent in football before he can even get a driver's license. They won't give this guy a break. As a Lamine Yamal fan, I'd still be worried. Vinícius Jr was unjustly overlooked for last season's Ballon d'Or award. Brazilians, his teammates, Benham, and Cristiano Ronaldo all publicly defended Vini, with the side's idea that Rodri and his crew just might have ignited the fire to produce another historic season in La Liga and in the Champions League. Instead, you proved in the best way possible exactly why you might never win a Ballon d'Or. No Champions League title, 1 goal and 0 assists in the knockout stages. And to make matters worse, you allowed Barcelona and a 17-year-old Lamine Yamal to win the Copa del Rey and the Liga over you. Just imagine if Lamine Yamal wins a Ballon d'Or this year. Partly due to dipping his goal conversion rate from January, partly also to him wanting to be the hero who gets all the credit. Well, at least Brazilians get to see firsthand Vini put up stinkers for his nation, because 6 goals in 5 years is definitely not what Brazilians expected when they said that Vini would be the next heir amongst the predecessors of Pelé. With Harland slotting in charge, Vinícius has done a great job of masking the idea that he's somewhat responsible for Brazil's struggles in every competition. At this point, Brazilians are just infatuated by what they want Vini to be, rather than what he actually is. A young talented Madrista who doesn't give a toss about playing for Brazil. Another thing that me off, not just me, but everybody about Vinícius Jr, is the diving and provocations. Why do you have to do that? Why can't you just be a man and put on your big pants already? Kylian Mbappe, I'm sure you already know where I'm headed with this. The poster child for early career greatness, except when it comes to delivering on the big stage of the Champions League. He was ineffective against Arsenal in the quarterfinals this season, and in the 2021 final missed multiple chances to secure a win over Bayern, including collapses to Barcelona and Manchester United. With Monaco, he respectively won the Ligue 1 and made the Champions League semi-final, but then joined PSG to rack up easy domestic titles. Despite having help from Messi and Neymar, chased but failed at all his attempts to achieve European glory. It's also ironic that as soon as he left, PSG secured their first ever Champions League in history, which makes Mbappe officially either overrated, a choker, or maybe a combination of both. He moved to a ready-made championship team, but rather than make the team better, Mbappe has made things worse. He's successfully compromised the system. The chemistry with Vini hasn't clicked, and he looks more predictable. This move was supposed to cement greatness, but in hindsight, it's pushed Real Madrid away from all title contention this season. Internationally, he has the World Cup win, but we won't forget the Euro 2020 collapse, blowing a 3-1 lead to Switzerland, and Mbappe missing a decisive penalty. Mbappe's had one of the best career starts in football history, but he's making it even harder to place him amongst the all-time greats with all these bottles in decisive moments. Bellingham. Bellingham is one of few young superstars under 21 that already looks like they're pushing 30, and one of many to have dated IG model Ashley Castro. And that's the problem, because how do we know if we've already seen the best of Bellingham, or that Ashley might have already sapped the life out of his career? Last season he was Madrid's golden boy, scoring 20 plus goals and look like the next Galactico. Fast forward to now, and he's regressed within a deeper, more creative defensive role and shielded from a lot of the fingers pointed at Mbappe and Vini. But if I was a Juice fan, I'd be more concerned that he's not quite as adaptable as he deceived. He was outplayed in almost every area across both legs of the Champions League quarterfinal by Declan Rice. After that beating, I doubt anyone has the chest to say he's a clear-cut best English midfielder. And let's not gloss over his international record. He's played in 2 Euros, including the final against Spain, and a World Cup, and no silverware to show for it. Of course, it's not all on him, but a player of his status and pedigree knows that these kind of opportunities don't come around so often, and they find a way to deliver on the biggest stage. So far, that's the box that Benham hasn't ticked. At 21, he's got years ahead of him, but at this rate, it's hard to say he'll be much better than Michael Ballack or Steven Gerrard, respected midfielders who weren't always the superstars in their team's attack. Harland. Haaland's a physical phenomenon and goal machine that's over-reliant on his size and service around him. Imagine all the best Michelin-star chefs in the world together, prepared and created a 3-course meal, and the diner gets all the credit and praise for eating it. That's Harland. He's a specialist without an all-round game, and his team does all the heavy lifting. Harland will score hat-tricks against bottom-table Premier League teams, only to score 0 goals in 9 finals with City, or score no goals in his 6 appearances in Wembley. He scored just once against Liverpool in the Premier League, whilst Alexander Isak has 3 in an inferior Newcastle team. So Haaland's also a major reason why Liverpool are currently outperforming City. I find it funny that just after winning the treble, Haaland complained to the media about fatigue and the demanding schedule. He might as well have just told his fans to control expectations and admit that it's not in you to win multiple titles across a single season again. He also told Arteta and Arsenal fans to be humble, and you ate a humble pie before they even could. He should probably take his own advice and qualify for the Euros or World Cup. Robert Lewandowski. Classic case of a striker with world-class finishing but heavy reliant on service around him. At Dortmund, Mario Götze. At Bayern, Thomas Müller, and now at Barcelona, it's Yamal and Rafinha doing the heavy lifting. Last year, he disgracefully refused to shake 16-year-old Lamine Yamal because he didn't pass him the ball. He's made a career out of being consistently surrounded by the best chance creators. He's not a dynamic forward, doesn't have the pace to stretch defenses, and won't drop deep to orchestrate plays as well as Benzema or Kane do. If he's not receiving chances, he's a ghost. And that's been exposed in recent seasons at Barcelona, where missed opportunities and made him look anonymous because he's not often involved in a build-up play, especially against tough opposition or in the Champions League. 5 La Liga games against Real Madrid, 2 goals deriving from a blowout game. He's never won the Ballon d'Or, although he definitely deserved the 2020 award. Even Lionel Messi was lost for words. He won 2 league titles with Dortmund, was runners-up in his final 2 seasons, and so like many former Dortmund stars, jumped ship to Bayern and piggybacked their dominance. You could just imagine the outrage if Kane joined Arsenal because they were doing better. But because no one cares about the Bundesliga, Lewandowski automatically gets a free pass. Bayern were lifting trophies before and after Lewandowski, which discredit his value. If you think Lewandowski is this dynamic, game-changing forward, then please explain his struggles in the Euros. 1 goal in 3 games for Poland in 2012 to finish last in a group of Greece, Russia and Czech Republic. Euros 2020 lost to Slovakia and Sweden to finish last in the group, and Euros 2024 scored 1 goal from a penalty spot and didn't make it out the group. Same story in the World Cup, 2 appearances, 2 goals, and has never exceeded the round of 16. Just to put that into perspective, Enner Valencia has 3 times more goals for Ecuador in the World Cup compared to Robert Lewandowski. Again, he gets a free pass because it's Poland. But for all the goals and record, he remains a specialist world-class finisher who needs a team to do all the cooking so he can take all the credit. No Ballon d'Or, no international trophies, and a legacy that, while impressive, will always have asterisks attached to it. Harry Kane. Harry Kane found the easiest possible way to win a title because he couldn't get it done with Spurs and obviously thought that would shut everyone up. That's funny. You piggybacked the most dominant club in Germany that nicks all the best players from their own league, and this season still couldn't defeat Bayer Leverkusen. Neither does it change the fact that Kane knows how to rack up goals in the early rounds or against lesser competition. But when it matters most, Harry Kane cannot be counted. 6 key cup finals in both England and Germany, 0 trophies, all ends in defeat. Harry Kane is still yet to score in the Champions League final or the Euros final. When it's time to deliver in finals or against top opposition, he's a ghost. What most people will remember from this season is not Harry Kane lifting his first ever trophy or Spurs ending their drought. What's most memorable is a Spurs side winning the Europa League, their first major trophy in the modern era, without world-class striker Harry Kane. If Kane had won the Champions League with Bayern, it would command more respect, but winning the Bundesliga with a team that's expected to win every year is far less impressive. Let's be real. Mohamed Salah. Even the Egyptian king is not safe in this video. As much as he is adored for his goal scoring numbers with Liverpool, he plays almost no defense because he's selfish and would rather look good scoring goals than expending energy preventing his team getting exposed. As good as people think Mo Salah is, he can also be very wasteful with his high shooting volume percentages, which is partly why he couldn't break into Chelsea early in his career. And it still lingers. In the 2022 Champions League final, Liverpool had 24 shots to Real Madrid's 4 and Salah couldn't convert 1 chance. He's also reached the AFCON final twice with Egypt and still has never won a major international trophy or a Ballon d'Or, despite the godlike status his fans like to give him. 2 Champions League final losses with Liverpool and 2 AFCON final losses with Egypt. These are the moments you expect true superstars to step up, and on those occasions, Salah did not. He also gets this reputation for being a humble, no-harm guy, but not when it comes to his consistent frustrations with Liverpool's management. From public contract demands, flirting with Saudi teams to lure Liverpool into lucrative deals, which is partly why Sadio Mane and now Trent Alexander-Arnold are no longer with the team. As much as people want to villainize Trent, what Salah is doing with the wage restructuring in Liverpool might prove to be more detrimental long term for the team. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo baited Manchester United to re-sign him by literally agreeing a move to their rivals Man City and backing out at the last minute. Who does that? Can you even imagine Lionel Messi baiting Barcelona to re-sign him by agreeing personal terms with Real Madrid? That's diabolical. As much as I don't like Ten Hag, he never lied when he said he didn't want a diva because he had a system and Ronaldo knew it, but put himself over the club and wanted central stage. Then went to Piers Morgan and blew a tantrum like a kid because he didn't get his way, whilst no clubs in Europe wanted him. But that's Cristiano Ronaldo for you. He's one of the greatest ever, but he's also one of the most selfish superstars of all time, which is why his career assist numbers are so low, even down to his celebration. Barely gives credit. It's all him. If a club signs Ronaldo, they have to accommodate him either by changing their whole tactics or benching first team players. He's going to dominate shooting volume percentages, he's not going to add anything to your defense, he won't provide mobility, especially at this age, and much of his goal tally is going to derive from penalties against lower competition. Imagine a player with this much main character energy and still needing a stacked team to win a Champions League treble, which was really undeserved thanks to Sergio Ramos' offside goal in the 2016 final, Vidal's unfair red card in the semi-final, and Ramos injuring two crucial Liverpool players in the 2017 final. So in reality, Ronaldo should have 2 Champions Leagues rather than 5. Unlike Messi, he's never won a World Cup, the closest being the semi-final in 2006. In fact, Ronaldo's stats in the knockout stages of the international tournaments are shocking. Of his last 10 goals in the Euros and World Cup, 5 derived from penalties, none of them deriving from the knockout stages. He won the Euros, but was benched for almost the entire final against France. But in typical Ronaldo fashion, added all the performance and show display on the sideline to act like he contributed so much to Portugal winning. He's justified an oil-filled workers' league being more competitive than the French league. The last time Ronaldo faced a Ligue 1 team with Juventus, he was knocked out of the Champions League by Lyon. This year, PSG are Champions League winners, so you're woefully wrong. Again, that's Ronaldo. He's of no use to Al Nassr besides the odd chance of a Kardashian showing up to the game. He always has his own agenda and his fans always fall for it. Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is often regarded as the greatest player, which he is not. He is racist, short and socially awkward. With the fate of the universe on the line, do you really want a player who is predictable without a right foot on the ball? Would you want Messi in the penalty box between 2 giant defenders on the receiving end of a corner? No. Do I want him taking a penalty? No, because he missed 31 in his career, like in the semi-finals of the Champions League in 2012 and the 2016 Copa America final. The last time I checked, the greatest player ever is capable of producing goals in any given situation, which already counts as Messi as a GOAT. But probably the biggest reason against Messi is the fact that he was, and still is, a system product of Barcelona that consistently benefited from being surrounded by the best players of all time and against the most favourable competition in La Liga. You can't tell me a number of top players that will score at least 20 and provide 10 assists surrounded by this much talent. So of course, you'll see Messi dribble past 4 or 5 known names like Fernando Amorebieta, or pass interchangeably between Xavi and Iniesta, around one player chasing the ball. But I'm sure we've all also seen Messi blow big leads in the Champions League, including a 4-1 lead to Roma in 2017-18 quarterfinals, a 3-0 lead to Liverpool in the 2018-19 semi-finals, and how he couldn't score against a 10-man Chelsea who were missing John Terry, with Messi of course missing a penalty. Not to mention 3 Copa America final losses with Argentina and a World Cup final loss. And it's not to my surprise that Messi has done everything in his power to avoid playing the Premier League for 20 plus years, because he and his fan base have always been scared that English competition will be too overbearing for him. And also 9 losses to English teams in the knockout stages of the Champions League, which should really be 11 if not for Barcelona paying the referees. You'd assume that the greatest player of all time wouldn't be scared of a challenge. Messi also happens to have won double more Ballon d'Ors than the 8 he should have. I'm sure Messi fans are already typing away, but Messi has a World Cup and Ronaldo hasn't. Doesn't that cement him as the greatest player ever? Again, with Messi, there's the contest of cheating in that World Cup. First of all, Messi's second goal in the final shouldn't have stood, as at least one Argentina sub was on the pitch as the goal was scored. Argentina received a record number of penalties, especially against the Netherlands and Poland, including other questionable officiating to favour Argentina. And above all, Messi scraped a win against a French side with no Pogba, Kante and Benzema. It doesn't take greatness to do that.